welcome to the daily life of a motion designer. As part of the After Effects Power Tools series, it is time to introduce the Wiggler tool. Wiggler, Wiggly, and Wiggle are all terms used for random object movement. The Wiggle tool mainly works with two parameters, frequency and magnitude. Essentially, Wiggle moves objects randomly and asks two things. How many times per second should I move and how far could I move? After receiving those values, it moves objects randomly, sometimes even without keyframes. Let's get started. First, go to the Window tab and activate the Wiggler. You can find it in the corner. Wiggler works with keyframes, so you just need to select two keyframes and hit apply. In this first exercise, let's move the compass hand. Select the hand and make sure the anchor point is placed in the middle of the object. Press R for rotation and animate it. The movement looks jerky. Usually, you would have to create several keyframes and adjust the rotation manually, but there is a better way, using the Wiggler panel. Select the keyframes and go to the Wiggler panel. Choose between two algorithms, smooth and jagged. Set a value for frequency, how many times per second the movement occurs. For example, set it to 5. Set a value for magnitude, how much the object could move. Since we're dealing with rotation, this value affects rotation. Set it to 15. Select the keyframes and hit apply. Take a look at the result. If needed, press Ctrl Z, then adjust the value. Set frequency to 7 and magnitude to 20. Preview the changes. Simple and easy. Using Wiggler for opacity. In the second composition, there is a lamp. The light of the lamp is a separate layer, and I want to simulate a flickering effect when it turns off. Select the light layer, press T for opacity, and animate it from 100% to 0 within 1 second. Select both keyframes and set the frequency to 20 and magnitude to 100. This will randomly vary the opacity up to 100% and 20 times per second. Preview the effect. You can also animate the light turning back on, following the same steps with keyframes from 0% to 100%. Using Wiggler for position. In this third exercise, let's move a bee from one point to another. Select the bee and press P for position. Animate it for 2 seconds. Adjust the handles if you want to create a curved movement. It moves more like a jet, not like a bee, right? To fix that, we'll use the Wiggler for position. Select the keyframes, set frequency to 10 and magnitude to 35, then hit apply. Now it looks better. Want to fine-tune it? Press Ctrl Z and set the frequency to 5 and magnitude to 50, then apply it again. You can also control the wiggle along a specific axis. For example, selecting Y only applies the wiggle to vertical movement, while selecting X applies it only to horizontal movement. Both can also be adjusted independently. Adding Wiggler to effects. In this fourth exercise, let's add Wiggle to an effect. Apply camera lens blur to a photo. Animate the blur radius from 0 to 30 and back it to 0. Select the keyframes, set frequency to 5 and magnitude to 30 and hit apply. This creates a focus pulling effect, similar to a camera trying to focus on a subject. You can use the same technique for camera's depth of field in After Effects. Simulation camera shake. In the last example, I want the scene to shake whenever the ball hits the ground. Place the timeline indicator where the ball touches the ground. Press P for position and create a keyframe. Move forward in the timeline and create another keyframe. Without changing the position, Wiggler will handle the shake. Be aware that shaking might move the footage out of the composition frame. To prevent this, scale the footage up or apply the motion tile effect and increase the output width and height. Do not forget to tick mirror edges. Select the keyframes and set the frequency to 30 and magnitude to 10, then hit apply. Preview the result and adjust the values if needed. Copy and paste the keyframes whenever the ball hits the ground. The Wiggler tool is a powerful and time-saving feature in After Effects that lets you add random movement to almost any parameter from position and rotation to opacity and effects. By controlling its frequency and magnitude, you can simulate realistic movement like flickering lights, camera shake, and more. With a few clicks, you can achieve professional-looking results without manually creating tons of keyframes. Thanks for watching. Feel free to leave your thoughts and suggestions in the comments below. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time on the daily life of a motion designer.